Will cover in this talk is that regarding allergen immunotherapy. I will be discussing about a little bit about the allergy, what is allergy, and how it presents, how we can diagnose, and the treatment part is especially the allergen immunotherapy. So coming to the first point, little bit basics about the immunotherapy. What is allergy first? There is an environment. Environment has got so many things, infectious agents, bacteria, viruses, allergens, and they produce different type of disease and presentations. How the body protects it, that's what is immunology, and that is what is immune system works. Protection is through immune responses. Immune responses, the basic thing which is very important as far as allergy is concerned, that they should be able to recognize self and non-self. What self and non-self means? That what is the substance which is coming in contact of your body and that body recognizes it is self, does not react to it. Non-self means that the agent which is coming, body says, no, I don't know it, and they react, they produce the symptoms and the disease, that is known as allergy. Now, what is immune response? There are two types of immunity which is present. One is innate immunity and second is acquired immune response. Innate immunity is present in the body itself, right from the very beginning. Like we have got certain defense barriers anatomically, and we have got endocytes, phagocytes, right from the nasal cavity, you have got little hairs and other things, all those things they prevent it. Your cough reflex, all these are defense, physical defense mechanisms. And physiological, there is inflammatory response. Something goes inside the body, inside the lung, then they produce some sort of reactions. And the most important reaction is inflammatory reactions, non-infective. In allergy, it is non-infective. In bacterial infection, it is infective. So inflammation means there is swelling up or the cells and all accumulate just to take care of that substance which is coming from outside. Then the important thing is in immunity is that self versus non-self recognition is not there. One person gets infection with some particular organisms, he gets a pneumonia, he gets allergy. But second times again with somebody else also produces. There is no recognition, there is no memory, and there is no specificity. Coming to the second part is acquired immune response. Now acquired immune response AIR does not occur independent of innate immunity. So there should be presence of some innate immune response. Important thing of AIR is that self versus non-self recognition. They know it. They don't react to anybody. They know that this is abnormal, this is normal, and that continues. The memory is there, specificity is there. So therefore, a person who is allergic to one particular substance, whenever comes in contact of that allergen again and again, he will have reaction. So that's important for AR. Memory, no other system in the body except this immune system has got AR memory and brain. So therefore, this is very important part of the allergic reactions. So they are AIE are now divided into two. One is humoral, one is cell mediated. The immune production is important. What is that? The reactions, why it is taking place, coming to the immunological parts. T helper cells, and is presented by certain cells under the influence of IL-2, IL-12 produces Th1 type of cells. Now Th1 type of cells are they cytotoxic cells, they suppress the IgE production, that's important. T helper presenting cells, one comes in contact or under the influence of IL-4, they produce Th2 cells, and Th2 cells help the B cells to produce Ig antibodies, so they are just reverse. So antigen presenting cell coming in contact of antigen through the Th2 cells produces different type of cytokines like IL-4, 5, 6, 10, and they help B cells to produce IgE. Similarly, the antigen presenting cells coming in contact of antigen through the Th1 cells, they produce interferon gamma and IL-2 and other substances. They control the Ig productions by B cells. So that's why this is reversal, the Th1 and Th2. These two cells are just working opposite. Coming to now other part is that autoimmune disease. What is autoimmune disease? Different type of disease, SLE or rheumatoid arthritis, they are also produced through allergic phenomena. Now what happens that the body starts reacting to their own cells, so they becomes autoimmune. Immunodeficiency disease means the immune system itself is deficient, the reaction is very less, so produce immune deficiency disease. Hypersensitive disease like say asthma and allergic rhinitis and different diseases, there is a hyperreactivity of the allergic reaction. Different criteria has been described by Jelen Koum long back in 1963, and the 4 type of. One is the type 1 is anaphylactic reaction, which is mediated through IgE antibodies. Type 2 reaction is cytotoxic or cytotoxic hypersensitivity, which is produced by the hapten. Hapten means a cell, and on top of the cell some antigen is attached. So both these things, they give a reactions and kills the cell. Type 3 is Arthur's type of reactions, which is through IgE as well as IgG, both antibodies, and they are toxic complex. They are mediated and produce hypersensitivity, like we see in the allergic bronchopulmonary aspergillosis. Type 4 is delayed or tuberculin type of reaction, which is cell mediated. This is through, it takes a longer time, 24 hours or so, and as we know that it is through T cell, and as we see in the tuberculosis. Now coming to the important part, because we are talking about allergen immunotherapy, the IgE is important. Type 1 reaction, which I said, is usually mediated through IgE antibodies. Now what happens? When 2 cells, the inverted Y, if you see them, inverted Y shape, these are the IgE antibodies. Now when they are bridged with antigens, antigen usually attached in between 2 molecules of IgE antibodies, there are changes in the cells. Cells means mast cells, which is in the tissue, and basophil, which is in the blood. So they produce certain changes in this cell, and the ultimate result of this change is that the mediators, which are preformed mediators, which are there in the globules inside the cells, they come out to the surface, burst open, and they release the mediators in the substance, in the tissue. And then these mediators are hundreds in number, but few of them are mentioned because they are certain important, histamine, prostaglandin, leukotrienes, bradykinin, 5-hydroxytryptamine, PAF, platelet aggregating factor, neutrophilic chemoattractive factors, and eosinophil chemoattractive factor. These are the important ones. They produce different changes in the body. The chemical reactions, usually CMP and GMP, they are there. There's fall in CMP and rise in the GMP. So these 2 things are produced and releases the mediators, so they come into circulation and they produce the disease. As you know, all these substances, they produce some sort of disease. And what are the diseases they produce? Before that, we should know what are the changes it produces in the tissue. One is that they produce the muscle spasm. Second is they increase the permeability of the cell. Third, they increase the vascular congestion. And fourth, they increase the mucous cell number as well as secretion of the mucus. So if you put these things, these symptoms, and in any particular tissue which is abnormal, again it is genetically known that this is going to affect the lungs or the nasal cavity or the stomach or the skin or whatever. So that tissue, you put these symptoms and you can have the presentation. In asthma, you got all, say you got muscle spasm, increased cells permeability, increased vascular congestion, and increased mucosal gland cells hypertrophy, as well as the increase in the mucous secretions. In skin, we don't have the muscle, so we have got all other presentations, swelling, urticaria, other things. So this is how the disease produces and the symptoms can be seen. So what I said is that 2 molecules of IgE means IgE antibodies with antigen, they produces mediator release. Mediator release presentation as per the abnormal target organ, which is again genetically predetermined. They produce respiratory system, in respiratory system asthma, nasal system rhinitis, skin urticaria, GIT, gastric, colon, even cardiac pseudoanginal type of pain has also been reported, migraine, and even locomotor system abnormality has been reported. Now before we go into the next part of the diagnosis and management, one thing very important, specific IgE results in for different age in patients. So this is I adopted from this is which is given submitted, is not yet published. But the important thing which I want to show you here is that there is a fluctuation. Usually young age start, this is the age on the down one, and the number of the tests. So we do the number of tests and the positivity. Blue is the positivity. So you see that the positivity is much less in the number of tests done. And as soon as the age grows, say about after 8 years or 9 years of age, then more or less it is stabilized. And that thing should be kept in mind, that if you are testing a person less than 9 years, you should see that, okay, watch for some time if it is possible, so that you can wait, so that the immune system is stabilized and giving a more stable type of report. Now how to diagnose it? To discover the offending allergen by history, very important as far as the allergy is concerned, history taking is very important. Positive history to which he is getting problem, to which he gets relief, when he is getting relief, at what place he is staying, at what time, and all sorts of things, so that you can have a correlation from which area he is coming and which are the flowering or the pollens or fungus present in the vicinity. So skin testing, then second we do the skin testing. Usually previously it was intradermal test, now we do the SPT, skin prick test, which has been accepted all over the world now and safer actually. So with skin testing is done with different allergens are produced by pollen, trees, weeds, dust, fungus, insects, dander, feather, cotton, wool, silk even. So all those things, their antigens are available. You do the skin test. How we do, I will tell you. Dietary substances, skin testing is not very reliable always, but elimination test is more important. Elimination means that whatever diet he is taking, you ask the patient that which is the safest diet. He takes the safest diet according to him for some time, see that there is no reaction, then start adding one item to which he thinks he is having problem. If there is some problem, okay, then you find out that this antigen is positive. Skin testing usually in the food substances is reliable only if it is exposed to the raw substance, not the cooked one or something, because there are so many changes which takes place, and the raw substance is usually like say baker's asthma. A person who is working in bakery, suppose he gets with the soybean problem powder, yes, so he is exposed to soybean, so then skin test can be positive. And then other laboratory evidences of increased IgG level is also there, and that can help in diagnosis. Coming to the skin testing part now, there are tests which has been done like say intradermal test, which I said that probably this is not being used now because the SPT or the prick test is not more reliable. Prick test is intradermal test, you are injecting in the skin, the very diluted 1:500 diluted amount in the skin, and you see the reactions. Skin prick test, so prick test which we call as SPT, we call in short, the small amount of antigen is put on the skin and then just make a scratch, okay, just make a prick, okay, with the needle, and we see the reaction. And so conjunctival test was just to tell you, because you should know some history. It was started long back, and initially what was being done that you put the antigen in one eye, antigen solution, and then normal saline in other eyes, and see after 20 minutes if the eye becomes red, then he is allergic to that antigen. But again it is not being done because of the some damage to the eye. Prochnish-Kushner reaction, which was called as PK test, that was being done for especially for patients of leukoderma, and leukoderma means the skin is not normal, so it is not be reacting to the antigen. So what was being done that you take the blood from a person to whom you want to test and separate the serum, and serum is injected at the say about 15, 16, whatever number of allergen you want to test on the back of the skin of a normal person. So the skin is hard actually, and then on top of those you inject the antigens, or you do the SPT or intradermal, whatever you want to do it, and put on that and see the reactions. If he is positive to that particular allergen, it means that the serum is reacting to that allergen. Means that person whose serum was there is allergic to that, not the person to whom you are testing. Again, this test is not being done because of you are injecting the serum on a normal person, and the danger of HIV and other things are there, so that has also been stopped. Dietary elimination already I told you. So you eliminate the diet one by one and then add one by one and try to find out, that's a dietary elimination. In vivo test again to support the diagnosis. Laboratory, the RAST or PRISH, these are tests which has been done by the antigens, taking the blood and doing the test. Coming to the skin test, avoid skin disease. Important thing is that a person who is having some skin disease, injury, even the rupture or the blood accident, if you inject the antigen, there are chances that the injection will be absorbed fast, like say acute inflammation because of any disease, urticaria or something, the absorption will be fast. Then again it shows that it gives a false reactions. And pre-medication, there are certain medications which should be avoided. I will come into detailed table, but important is adrenaline, it suppresses reactions for 15 minutes to half an hour maximum. Antihistaminics and different antihistaminics are short acting for say about 3 days, and the long acting are withdrawn for about a week before doing the skin testing, so that they should not affect it. Different concentrations are used, 1:500 weight by volume for intradermal, 1:10 or 20, mostly 10, 1:10 is used weight by volume dilution for skin prick test. Reading is done after 15 to 20 minutes. The reason is that after 15-20 minutes the reaction is at the peak. So we want to see that reactions and then we do the grading. Now this particular table is showing what medication you should avoid for doing skin testing. We avoid because these antihistaminics can suppress the reaction for a longer period. Therefore, the patient, even if it is positive, will not show as positive. So that is why we avoid these medicines, and this is a table which shows the you can stop for 3 days to 5 days or 1 day, different type of medications are there. But important thing, and I think all long acting are 7 to 10 days is maximum time that you can ask the patient to stop or discontinue before doing this skin testing. The important thing is in the table is omalizumab. Omalizumab, which has been used, can suppress the reaction for 4 to 6 months. That's very important. That is why patient who has been given omalizumab do the skin testing after at least 4 to 6 months. Medicines which do not suppress the skin reactions are, say, angiotensin converting enzymes inhibitors, beta-adrenergic agonist, cyclosporine, S2 blockers like cimetidine, ranitidine, famotidine, intranasal antihistaminics, leukotrienes receptors, antagonists, nasal and inhaled steroids, protein pump inhibitors, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and theophylline. But there are few studies which show that the S2 blocker cimetidine can affect also some reactions. So that is why it is better to take 2 days precaution before doing this skin testing. How do you grade it? After 15 to 20 minutes, when you see it, we give it, I say, histamine phosphate is taken as positive control. Why it is taken as positive control? Because what we are producing in the histamine, producing in the skin is histamine. Histamine is the substance which shows the reaction. That's very important for skin. So after injecting the antigens, we try to produce the histamine. And histamine is taken as positive control, means the antigen should be positive, at least equivalent to histamine, then it becomes significant. Negative, we take the buffer saline because all the antigens are preferred in buffer saline. So that should be negative control, and usually this is, I am talking about skin prick test. And negative control usually 0 to or maximum 3 millimeter. And if you add it, 1 plus is taken as 3 to 5 millimeters, 2 plus is taken 6 to 8 millimeters diameter. Take both the diameters total and divide by 2. 3 plus 9 to 11 and 4 plus is more than 11. So the measurement is done in millimeter by adding transverse and horizontal diameter and dividing by 2. Now antigens for testing should be selected based on the history and the presence of aeroallergen or antigen in the local environment. That is important. There are companies which are coming up with the antigens which are available abroad. That particular allergen is not available in our country, like example of ragweed, which is not in India, but is very common for USA. So just try to find out, take the history to which is sensitive, or probably you are suspecting that he can be allergic, and it is also present in the environment. That should then you make the list of the antigen to which you want to test. Results are better of the allergen immunotherapy is a lesser number of the antigens, antigen from the same group or antigen from the mixed group. This is in order of preference. So individual quantity of allergen in prescription varies from person to person depending upon the sensitivity of skin testing. So that is for allergen immunotherapy. I will come in detail about that. Then the composition of the antigen is important. Single antigen which has been approved world over is being used. Mixed allergens not yet approved in UK and used in some places in USA, but we are not using in India. Mixed allergen means there are 5 or 6 grasses, you mix them and just do one testing. The simple answer is that we have got so many grasses, so many pollens in our country, and if it is positive to that group, the mixed allergen, then we don't know to which is positive, and we have got separate antigen for all the grasses. It's better to do it separately so that you are more specific. And so antigens are also presented in micrograms per ml. We do is the concentrations in weight by volumes and different places. And if you do the present antigen are tested in or given immunotherapy with weight by volume, then there are certain things. Intradermal test usually starts, I am talking about not India, is outside 0.001 microgram per concentration when constituted in 1 to 5 ml of albumin human diluents, which we don't do it here. Prick test is 100 micrograms concentration done in duplicate starts from 0.01 to 0.11 like this. So for immunotherapy, it starts from a lower one, 0.1 microgram per ml and increase to 1 microgram per ml and then to say 10 microgram per ml, and finally to desired 100 microgram. This is something which has been recommended, done in other countries, but in India what we are doing, I will tell you in the next slide. So what is the management of this type of condition? That is known as allergen immunotherapy. And what is allergen immunotherapy? It is called as specific because it is specific with that particular antigen, it's not generalized. So it means that immunotherapy with a specific allergen for that person to which he is sensitive, or we call it as allergic. We can define immunotherapy is a method of treatment used to control the clinical and immunological changes which are produced in Ig-mediated type 1 hypersensitivity immune reaction. And what is the idea? How we do the small, in the brief, the principle of allergen immunotherapy is that we gradually increase the amount and concentration of allergen from a very diluted level to an optimal level which can produce maximum relief in the patients. And the idea is to achieve 1 ml, 1:50 dilution, and it should be given once a month. And this is the chart which shows that how we started. Usually, I said depending upon again the sensitivity of the patient and the number of antigens, we can start the higher dilution, or otherwise we start 1:5000 weight by volume, and it is usually given twice a week, starting from the first injection 0.1, second injection 0.2, 0.3, like this go up to 0.9. Once we reach 0.9, we go into 1:500, twice a week, same frequency, 0.1 to 0.9. Third is 1:50 weight by volume is given once a week because it is we are going on the higher concentrations. So 0.1 to 0.5, slowly we go, and the next vial comes 1:5. Whole vial given is once in 2 weeks, 0.6, 1:50 weight by volume, once in 3 weeks, 0.7 every time. The whole vial is given 0.7, 1:50 weight by volume once a month, 0.8 cc, and then 0.9 and 1. So once we reach the 1:50 weight by volume once a month, 1 cc, that's the maximum tolerated dose. And usually the maintenance dose of the patient is somewhere between 0.5 to 1 ml of 1:50. That is why we go very slowly. And how we find out that dose, because when the patient starts reacting to the higher dose, we know that the last dose was probably the maximum tolerated dose. There are laboratory evidences of response of allergen immunotherapy. Basophil sensitivity to the allergens, sensitizing antibodies of IgE type, lymphocyte response to the allergen, and IgG antibodies. If you see the graph, you can say that all of them goes down with the allergen immunotherapy, except sensitizing IgE antibodies. If you can make out, initially there is a rise for some time and then there is a fall. So important thing is that you have to explain to the patient that when we start allergen immunotherapy, say initially for 1 or 2 months or 3 months time, you may have 5 to 10% worsening in your symptoms, you may require more medications. But afterwards it will go down, and that is a positive response. So that has to be explained to the patient. Other thing which are showing in the down is that the 2 phases of injections. One is initiation phase, second is maintenance phase. Initiation phase means when we are increasing the dose, as I showed in the chart in the last slide, there is a initiation phase. And afterwards we reach the maintenance, then it keeps on taking that particular dose throughout. That is the maintenance phase. There is the importance of both the phases. I will come to you afterwards. What is the mechanism? As I said, Th1 response and Th2 response, they produce different type of cytokines and they produce different reactions. Th2 produces bronchodilatations, whereas Th1 protects it. So Th1 response inhibits the Th2 response. What you want to initiate Th1 response and reduce the Th2 response. And immunotherapy has been found to increase the Th1 response and decrease the number of eosinophils. And these changes have been found in different studies to correlate very well clinically. So this hypothesis have been confirmed by various places now, and we know that okay, this is usually Th1 and Th2. So certain things about the allergen immunotherapy: bronchial, nasal, or oral immunotherapy. These are different methods which are used to give the same allergens, but not recommended due to lack of evidence in favor of safety, important, and the dosing. Studies on sublingual immunotherapy, which is being done now, are providing promising results which are quite comparable with subcutaneous immunotherapy. We call what I am talking is subcutaneous immunotherapy. Sublingual is just put a drop of this allergen diluted in different concentrations and put it below the tongue. However, further study is required for sublingual immunotherapy. We call it slit, especially to define the most appropriate dose. That's very important. Efficacy in children and long-term benefits and adverse reactions. Patients should be educated about the side effects. As already said, Patient should be explained that okay, you are going to have this problem. Any problem after taking injections within an hour, say but localized swellings or the symptoms which are there, you should stop. Important thing is you should stop the next injection, come to the doctor, because then you know that why he is getting it. Probably he is crossing the maintenance dose. That's the most likely. Patient should avoid allergen injections at the time of acute observations. When you have acute problem, don't give the injection. You can miss the injections. Otherwise, you are adding the allergen load to the patient. Patient should stop allergen immunotherapy and report to the treating patient in case of any adverse reaction, especially developing within 1 hour of the injection. Patient should be selected by confirming the history of symptoms after exposure and re-exposure. Take a proper history. Disease diagnosed by establishing different criteria for about asthma or rhinitis with say gold or area or ATS criteria, different criteria for different diseases. And you can have the gold criteria also to avoid that there are some other diseases like COPD. Allergen should be shortlisted with history. Allergen should be present in the vicinity. Allergen avoidance is not totally possible. That's again very important. Allergen avoidance is not totally possible. A person has got with the pets, like also dog, hairs or something, he has got allergen, and he says, I will not keep dog throughout my life. And after avoiding, patient is 100% all right. Don't give anything. He's all right. And patient is not having other immunological disease, because any immunological disease, right from cancer or anything, then you will not get the response, because the immune system itself is not behaving normally. A prescription, number of antigen, ideally it should be less than 5. Age for immunotherapy is over 5 years for subcutaneous immunotherapy and over 2 years for sublingual immunotherapy, but there is no upper age limit. Previously it was 45 to 50 years, but now recently it has been said that any age you can give allergen immunotherapy. Amount of each allergen is very important. I will come to that later. Concentration to be started, again, as I discussed, that if the patient is very reactive, they can have higher concentration. Otherwise, usually 1:5,000 we start. Acceptability of first injection, that's important. You are giving first injection to the patient. Always ask the patient to be in your clinic where the facilities for managing any side effect, including anaphylaxis, should be there. Ask the patient to wait for 1 hour. See that if there is no local induration or any precipitation of symptoms or anaphylaxis, whatever, if happens, then you go to the higher dilution. So again, ask the patient to take first injection. So that is important. And it's ideally that if the patient takes all the injection in the clinic, but in our countries, because of so many cost factors and timing and other things, it's not possible. So I ask the patient to take first injection of every vial when they start the new vial, new concentration vial in the clinic. Feasibility for keeping injections should be at the 4 to 6 degree centigrade, but not freeze. Don't freeze it. Availability of qualified doctors in the vicinity where the patient, if the patient is taking injections at home, then there should be availability of some trained persons who can take care of any reactions or about the immunotherapy. Monoallergen immunotherapy versus allergen mix. Partly I discussed also. Most of the studies of subcutaneous immunotherapy efficacy used a single allergen, and thus the efficacy of multiple allergens has not been extensively studied, though a few studies are there. However, almost all Indian studies have used mixed allergens. The prevalence of polysensitization has been documented to increase with age, and majority of the patients consulting an allergist are polysensitized in India especially. However, a polysensitized patient does not necessarily have polyallergy. Now, thing is, first I say that almost all Indian studies have used mixed allergen. Mixed allergen is not that the mixed allergen what I discussed. There are so many antigens mixed one. Mixed means more than one allergen. I say polysensitization. That's what I mean. Mixing allergens, clearly mixing allergens again means positive allergens to say about 4 or 5 allergens. You are mixing them in one vial. Mixing allergens clearly has an impact on pharmaceutical parameters, stability and dosing, and clinical effect. Optimal dose and safety is important for every patient. Attempt should be made to identify the major allergen moieties for better results with ASI. This is the research work that if you can find out, we know the antigen, this is the antigen. There are so many proteins bands, which is important, which is the major allergen. If we can isolate that allergen, which is very difficult job, is being done actually. Cost also involved. If you take 20 ml, hardly you can have few micrograms of that moieties. So that cannot be produced commercially, but things are moving in the right direction. Something you find out, this is the major allergen, and you give allergen immunotherapy through that major allergen, it will be more specific. Contraindication for allergen immunotherapy. absolute contraindications. Like patient has got uncontrolled asthma or patient has got chronic asthma. There the patient reversibility is not a matter now, it's already over, it's crossed that level, so he will have some sort of non-reaction with the allergen immunotherapy. But okay, it can be and then malignant neoplasm, pregnancy, only for initiation of immunotherapy. For pregnancy, if the already patient is on immunotherapy, don't stop it, because she can have acute episodes in between. But if the allergen immunotherapy has not been started, then you please don't start till the delivery takes place, because you are initiating something and how the patient will react, you don't know. Otherwise, there is no contraindication. Children less than 5 years of age, especially for subcutaneous immunotherapy, and patient who have got some immune system, including AIDS and HIV positivity, then please don't do it, because the immune system is already under some other disease attack. So immune system may not behave the way we want to behave. Relative contraindications, beta blockers, that can be stopped. Cardiovascular diseases, very severe cardiovascular disease, okay, you can wait for some time, take care of cardiovascular. HIV positive, not AIDS. Psychiatric or mental disorders, because you can take injections not properly, you can take IV injections, you can take larger dose of somebody, you can take care of them, and they say, all right, then we'll start the relative. Chronic infections, take care of the chronic infection first before starting immunotherapy. Autoimmune disorders, immune deficiency or immune suppression. So these, again, the immune system is normal, so I think it's better take care of patient as individual and then relative risk. Dosing schedule. Single antigens, the consensus all over is that dilute it to at least 50 times than the testing dilute. Just take an example. 0.01, 1 ml of 1:500 we test with intradermal. Say it is 2+, so we take it as significant. It is equivalent to skin prick test 1:100 dilution. So allergen immunotherapy should be started 50 times, may start with at least 1:25, 2,500. Higher positivity, say 4+ patient, will start with at least 100 times. If the higher positivity of the allergen, start with 100 times. So it becomes 1:5,000. The prescription should be built around the maximum positive allergens. The important thing is that we have to take care of the allergen which is highly positive. Multiple allergens, separate vial for each allergens, injected with a gap of 30 minutes. Say about 5 allergens, 5 vials, which is, and mix the allergen in one vial. Again, I am talking the mixed allergen, it's not mixed allergen for testing, it's the mix the allergens, say 2, 3, 4 allergens all in one vial in different dilution and concentrations, and start the injection. Same amount of each allergen of all from the same group. There are some criteria, some papers have gone like, okay, irrespective of sensitivity, you should do it. Different concentration of different allergens or mixed in one vial, that's other criteria. Avoid mixing of allergen having proteolytic activities like Hauser's mite, fungus, insects and other antigens, because they affect the potency of other allergens. In India, what we do, we usually mix the allergens, we go 2, 3, 4 up to 5 in one vial and then give it and start accordingly. The concentration, the amount of each allergen varies. This coming to the dosing schedule, which I am talking about in India. Now, 2 antigens, suppose these positive to 2 antigens, significantly positive, say one of them is, say A is 4+ and B is 2+, you want to mix both of them in one vial. How to make a unit potency of positivity, say what 4 + 2 means 6, this becomes the unit positivity. The amount of vaccine is 5.5 ml. So if you divide the unit amount per positivity, comes to 0.9. So for antigen A, you multiply 0.9 into 4 becomes 3.6 ml, and B becomes 2 multiplied by 0.9, 1.8 ml. So this means, however, it is better to avoid mixing of allergens having proteolytic activities with other allergens. It reduces potency in one vial, say Hauser's mite, fungi, and even certain insects. The maintenance dose, the dose which started giving more than 1 to 2 centimeter reactions with symptoms within 30 minutes of giving injections, means you go back to the last dose, and that will be the maintenance dose for that particular patient. Other important point is about default. A patient who has stopped for some time, then what to do it. Less than 1 month default, nothing. You can go back and start the same prescription, same dose to be continued. 1 to 2 months and go back to the last dose. If he was taking 0.7, go back to 0.6. 2 to 4 months default, go back to the last vial. Suppose he is taking 1:500, go back to 1:5,000. More than 4 months, then you wait for patients, retest and examine afresh and start from the beginning, because whatever has been done in short period and probably has gone. Assessment of immunotherapy response, a clinical symptom score, drug score, number of acute episodes and emergency visits and even admissions. If less than 30% response in 1 year, you stop immunotherapy, patient is not going to be benefited. If more than 50% response in 1 year, then continue immunotherapy. Laboratory evidences also supports like say IgE, IgG, IgG4, skin sensitivity, bronchial hyperactivity, IgG and IgG, IgG4 and IgE or IgG1 level, all these ratios, they also support the improvement. T regulatory cells, B regulatory cells, IL-2, 4, 5, 10 and even 13, type 2 cytokine cells, type 2 immune cells including IL-2, type 2 innate lymphoid cells, ILC. To all these things can be estimated just to support that and to see the progress of the allergy immunotherapy. There are certain trials, I am not going to details of their Indian trials. There are so many trials, about 75 or 80 trials in the world who has been done and shown the response of allergy immunotherapy. I will just to tell you that there are certain trial. One is being done by Dr. Sheikh a long back about in 51 patients, and they could find out that there is no systemic reactions with allergy immunotherapy, increasing the use of rescue medications in BUD group, budesonide group, and decrease in medication used in immunotherapy groups. Use of budesonide resulted in faster improvement immediate because it is a steroid during first few months. So I already said immunotherapy is not going to give you relief in few months' time, but more rapid decline in benefit on cessation. Once you stop that, then usually the symptoms come back. Immunotherapy group patients resulted in slow but steady improvements which did not decline as compared to budesonide group even after discontinuation. Second trial, Karmakar et al. Is 96 patients, again found the same thing. IgE levels were reduced in immunotherapy groups and IgG levels were significantly high, which is a blocking antibody and which is a good response. Again, Chaudhary et al. They published in 1999, affect 63 patients and placebo control, find out that IgE levels were reduced in immunotherapy apart from symptom improvement and in immunotherapy groups, and the IgG level goes up. This is we have published in 1996, long back, about 12 months trial in about 203 patients, and there was more than 50% clinical response in 46.8% patients in time. This is again a trial by Joshi, 75 patients and significant improvement PFR, peak expiratory flow rate, reduction in skin sensitivity. They have repeated the skin test and symptomatic relief. Now, Pawar et al. Also published in 2002 in 51 patients and got a good response in 3 years. 47% patients showed improvement in immunotherapy groups. This is one paper again we have published in 2007 in Annals of Allergy, where we have taken more criteria, more parameters, and 40 patients, effect of mosquito-specific immunotherapy in allergic bronchial asthma. Now we have taken 40 patients, 20 patients on immunotherapy, 20 on placebo groups, and trial was given for 1 year. Significant symptomatic improvements, significant improvement in bronchial reactivity as compared to placebo group, reduction in skin sensitivity and IgE level in immunotherapy group, significant high level of IgG4 in immunotherapy group, it is also a positive sign, significant decrease in IgE and IgG4 ratio, good correlation of clinical improvement with IgG4 and IgG1 ratio. That's now recently a very important parameter. Allergen immunotherapy with mosquito was well tolerated. Again, this patient were published. This paper was published in 2009, where we have tried to mix the allergens. So we compared single insect allergen with mixed allergen, 3 allergens of the same group of the insects, double-blind placebo-controlled trial. It was published in Journal of Clinical Immunology, and active group and the placebo group, the single allergen as well as mixed allergen, more than 2 to 3 allergens, 1 year immunotherapy, and we could follow all the criteria. So skin sensitivity, airway reactivity, symptom score, IgE and IgE and IgG4 and IgG1 and IgG4 ratio. 85 completed the studies. Active groups had significant improvement in all the parameters, ranging from 65 to 80%. Positive correlation between increase in IgG4 and clinical improvements, and there was no difference in single and mixed allergen group. This is important so that we can have single as well as we can mix more than one allergen up to the number 5, so we can have a good response in both the criteria, both the groups. Now this paper has come into 1998 by WHO, different organizations. These are the organizations listed which sat there because there was a controversy about allergen immunotherapy at that time, and they all sit and they have a big document was produced, and the gist of the document was that at present allergen avoidance and immunotherapy are the only treatment that modifies the course of an allergic disease, either by preventing the development of new sensitivities or by altering the natural history of disease or disease progression. Important thing is altering the natural history, because it's not a bronchodilator, it's not antihistaminic, it is not anti-allergic. It's altering it is striking at the Th1 and Th2 level as a basic, the natural course of disease, so it's more permanent. This is WHO position paper. Similar recommendations were made in Cochrane review on asthma, rhinitis, and even WHO and American Academy of Allergy, Asthma and Immunology also recommended that it is effective. Recommendations were of the Canadian Society of Allergy, Clinical Immunology, that also favors allergy immunotherapy, and the conclusion of the recommendations were that it should be practiced by trained physicians. That is very important. There should be facilities for managing anaphylaxis, so side effects was the main problem. Patient, though it is very less, 1 in 1 lakhs or 1 to 1,000, very real anaphylaxis, but okay, we should have the facilities. Patient should be educated for the response and side effects of immunotherapy. He should know when to stop immunotherapy. These reactions may be because of allergic immunotherapy. Don't take the next injection, come to the doctor, and then we can judge. Patient should wait 20 minutes in the clinic after the injections. Immunotherapy should be carried out with standard allergen extract. That's again very important. The potency of allergen is very important just to give the reactions. So the meta-analysis has been done in different places for rhinitis and asthma, and they could find out that there is a definitely good response with allergen immunotherapy in the Cochrane meta-analysis. Second point which is important for allergen immunotherapy is benefit persists after immunotherapy discontinuation. That's very important. There are certain, I have just labeled few of the studies, and then it says that if you stop, say, bronchodilator, stop steroids, stop any medication which is being there for bronchial asthma. After some time the symptoms come back, you cannot stop it completely. You can reduce, but you cannot stop it. But allergen immunotherapy, if you give it for 3 to 5 years time, even up to the paper published say about 2 years back, that even you discontinue allergen immunotherapy, the benefit persists even up to 12 years without any medication, nothing is required. That's one thing which is very great as the immunotherapy is concerned, like say in the last one, say Ang et al. Is about 12 years. So what I was telling that about bronchial asthma medications, if you see the chart in this slide, that if you stop beta agonist, theophylline, anticholinergic, antihistaminic steroids, and say after withdrawal of that particular medications, the activation lasts, activation means the action, the benefit lasts for how long, or the bronchial hyperactivity is controlled for how long. So beta agonist, hardly, if your patient is taking it, you cannot stop it for all these medications for more than 72 hours. Symptoms will come back, and the bronchial hyperactivity will also come back within a month's time. But if you give allergen immunotherapy successfully in a properly selected patients for 3 to 5 years, then after withdrawal, the bronchial reactivity and the symptoms, they are suppressed, they are controlled to 3 to 5 years I have written, but in last slide I said up to 12 years, even our discontinuation. That's something very important which is not available with any other medication. Now these changes which are after discontinuation have been seen, I said it Ang et al. The last one is about 12 years. After discontinuation of medication, you can see the benefits can be persisted for 12 years. Third point is decreased risk of developing asthma in patient of RAS. So we know the allergic march starts from rhinitis and then going to asthma or something. So there are certain studies which I just tabled there. They have shown that if you give allergen immunotherapy to a patient of rhinitis, it doesn't go to the asthma. It means that progression of the allergy is stopped. Next point is development of new allergy sensitization in monosensitized patient. A patient who has got allergy to certain things and we start allergen immunotherapy, chances of the patient that if he was going to have some allergy to some other allergen to which probably we have not tested, or he is now coming in contact of that allergen, that also can be taken care of. Now the other thing which is important as the clinician we are concerned, and otherwise other people are also concerned, is about fatal reactions. They are very rare, but the fatal reactions or anaphylaxis, what we call, if is not taken care of at the proper time. And there is a tabulation of these charts. I just put it's about 29 years in UK, about 26 deaths. And in 88 to 91, no deaths, and 92 to 93, there was 6 deaths. Similarly, in USA, there was in 40 years, 26 deaths, which was linked to immunotherapy. Retrospective analysis of all these data. 85 to 95, there was 17 deaths. So, and then Israel 4 out of 10 asthmatics had symptom reaction. So they think that the people start thinking, oh, something should be done for this and to take care of these deaths which are because of allergen immunotherapy, retrospectively seeing the details of the treatment and procedure in the file. So the approach which was decided that okay, risk of immunotherapy cannot be judged in most cases, which is especially when administered by general practitioner. General practitioner, what they means in UK is about untrained allergist or given in an unsupervised medical setup. So these were the two things found out that probably the people die where these facilities were not there. Therefore, the recommendation was that is more on availability of facilities for dealing with any serious complications, including anaphylaxis, and it should be practiced only, important is only by trained persons. So there should be a training of allergists so that he should know that how it is reacting, what are the side effects, what is the dosing, and how it should be given. Other important point was risk factors, which I was telling that children less than 5 years, unstable severe asthmatics, long duration of asthma who has got airway remodeling, other things probably the allergen immunotherapy will not benefit them. Those having seasonal flare-ups, those taking beta blockers cannot stop it. But the most important find, which is in the point, is that in the last one is that more reactions are seen during increasing the dose of allergen. That is what I said in the beginning, initiation phase, and then during maintenance phase. The important, the patient is raw. You are increasing dose. You don't know how much is the maintenance dose of that patient. you may cross the maintenance dose and have reactions. So that is why patients should be educated that, okay, any reactions, any increase in swelling, any symptoms after the injection, you should come back report to the doctor so that you can know probably it is a maintenance dose. The last dose was probably was the maintenance dose. Don't go higher. Put on the in the capital letters on the file, oh, this is the maintenance of dose of that patient, and patient should also know it. He will not take more than that. That's important. So initiation phase is important. Maintenance, once he reaches that dose, we know the maintenance dose, we decided the maintenance dose, he is taking the same dose, then chances of getting reactions are very, very less. Few points about the future of immunotherapy. Anti-IgE antibody, omalizumab, had been tried in certain patients, and very high IgE levels, it has been tried to find out some sort of beneficial effect in the patients. But still there is some controversies going on whether we should use it or not. Should we use the non-specific suppression of IgE, or should we do a specific suppression of IgE with allergen immunotherapy? Second is sublingual immunotherapy, which is coming, and there is a meta-analysis, and the meta-analysis has shown that allergic rhinitis, the efficacy is almost equal, side effects are less than 5%. It is safe and can be given even in children up to after 2 years, and no fatality has been reported in 1986 when it was introduced. So therefore, I just conclude by saying that allergen immunotherapy is effective in allergic disease mediated through IgE. We have to confirm it is mediated through IgE and it is allergic. But it should be practiced by trained physicians or allergists, and by following the revised Indian guidelines for allergen immunotherapy, which we published initially in 2009, has been updated as published in 2017 in Indian Journal of Allergy, Asthma and Applied Immunology, and this slide is showing that. And it has already come in is under publication now in 2007. So follow that, go through that guidelines, and great efforts have been made to find out even the smaller points and the details, so that you should know what is allergen immunotherapy. You can revise your things, and so that you can be treating the patients properly without any side effect, without any reactions. Now I will talk about few of my patients in about 37 years of my experience, just to give an idea. There is one patient who has got asthma and allergic rhinitis. The important thing is that he was positive to one antigen, single antigens. We are going immunotherapy for 3 years, and he's totally asymptomatic. No medication, nothing is required for more than 5 years. Now it is even more than 10 years. Second patient who was found again with bronchial asthma with allergic rhinitis and even migraine. You know, the allergy can produce migraine also. So 2 antigens of the same group, of the insect group, given the immunotherapy, and the patient was no medication required. Even the migraine also got cured with the allergen immunotherapy. This is again a patient with 3 antigens of the same group, insect group, and given the immunotherapy, and they required SOS salbutamol, but azap nasal spray SOS, but there is no acute reaction and no permanent requirement of medication. A patient who has got positive to 4 antigens of mixed type. Mixed means different allergens. This is pollens and then insects, these 2 groups, and given immunotherapy for 3 to 5 years, and then patient is all right. He started asymptomatic after 1 year of allergen immunotherapy. Then 5 antigens of different groups against the pollens and insects, and then given immunotherapy, and there's no medications after 1 year of immunotherapy, is continuing for 3 to 5 years. 50 years. This is important. I want to put this slide is that the patient who was given allergen immunotherapy was 2 antigens positive, got very much relief and 80s, and then but asymptomatic was 2002 is discontinued. 1980. Then after 1980, after getting this thing immunotherapy for 3 years, again reassessed 2003 because he started getting symptoms, and then found to be positive to same allergens, started immunotherapy again with the same antigens, and patient got relief. The important thing is that even if a discontinuation, if the reassessment patient is still found to be allergic to same antigens, then you can start immunotherapy again. This is a very important, interesting patients, about young 9 years. There was a history of repeated hospital admissions with anaphylaxis, and was given adrenaline. Educated family, we were keeping adrenaline in the purse. The mother was keeping it, and whenever any acute problems, then used to take to the hospital or probably give supporting. Adrenaline. The patient was found very strongly positive to honeybee. He was never bitten by honeybee. When he was sitting in the garden or something, he says something happens and then there he gets the problem. Even exposure arise. The important thing is the fire, the feces and the urine, all these insects, they are highly allergenic. So it was present in that particular environment, gets problem, given immunotherapy for about 2.5 years. And with the venom immunotherapy, because venom is available with honeybee, we imported it and given it, and after the patient is very asymptomatic, it's about 15 years back. So it's about for 24, 25 years and totally asymptomatic. Even after the bite, patient did not get any problem. This is again interesting patient, house riding, very fond of house riding. Even the father was also very fond of house riding. When our father used to do the house riding, come to the house, as soon as he enters the room and the son is sitting, he starts getting sneezing. And even much worse, and then cough and dyspnea also in patients if he is doing horse riding himself. So he was found very strongly positive to horse standards. We have given allergen immunotherapy for 1.5 years. And thereafter, important thing is that I wanted to see the response in the patient. Patient was not responding, no contact, did not come to us. And after a year of that, I got a telephone call from that patient. So I just fired him. I said, what the hell you are doing it? We have done so many this thing, and why you discontinued and this thing? Then he says, you please listen to me first. Okay, then what he was telling that, okay, I discontinued, is my mistake. I did not come to you. But after, say about discontinuation, after 1 year of discontinuation, my horse died. I have done all the cremations because I was so much emotionally attached without thinking of anything. I have done all the cremation with my hand and everything of that horse. And when I came back home and I did not get any problems, then I remember you. I say something happened, so I'm sorry. I'm thankful, doctor, that you have given some treatment, that I am all right and I could do everything, and now I'm perfectly all right, and I'm sorry that I discontinued. So afterwards, this patient, this is something happens with the patient. You got a very remarkable response in certain patients, and that persists for a very, very long time. With this, I just end my talk, and probably you are now enriched with the knowledge of the allergen immunotherapy.